All right, I'm probably gonna edit this part out because I am not good at production. So, I know I mentioned this a number of times before to people on the Twitterverse and whatnot. Some of my ailments. One of them is sorry, I'm doing this on the fly because I gotta head out soon. Since my two COVID infections, I've had these blind spots in the center of my vision develop, and it looks like like if I'm looking at a letter or a character, it'll look like the character will scrunch up, and so like if it's like a O, it'll go like like that, or like weird shit like that, where it looks like there's a distortion being made around a gap or a hole. You know what I mean? Because it had like regions, and like I would like, okay, I do things like, okay, I want to look at the top of the character and see how that distorts it. Look at the bottom and so on and so forth. And what I found was it doesn't move, but depending on where I'm looking at the letter, it'll scrunch up like away from the distortion kind of thing. So I told my doctor about that. She didn't know what the fuck was happening, nor did she actually express any concern, really. Like, I went to the eye doctor, got some superficial tests. I said, hey, seems like it's going to be neurological. Test came back, oh, the eye is functioning fine. Okay, fine, great. I think it's neurological. And, like, nothing. Like, the tests were mostly just like, oh, we're going to conduct nerve conduct connectivity tests and da da da. And it's like, okay, is that gonna scan the visual processing part of my brain to see if there's an error there? Anyways, long story short, didn't get help, so I had to figure it out. This has been my journey towards healing myself and my body and stuff using like fuck a number of things. I don't want to get into too much into detail because like it would like totally bog down the video. The thing that I wanted to point out though is that something happened or has been happening with my eyesight, because like what I'm doing, I'm essentially mapping out like the interiority of my own senses, right? Where I feel that I am, not am, proprioception, interoception, that kind of stuff. And what I found is that stuff applies to eyesight too. Um, how do I say this? I basically found, I wouldn't say it's a fix so much as I found the correct, like, okay, here's what was happening. Shoot, should I say what was happening and then show? Essentially, there was something going wrong with my stereoscopic vision, because the thing that I did that kind of like the aha moment was, okay, I know each person can like, you can focus on like, just seeing through one eye at a time, right? You close one eye, you look to the other, but you can also kind of do that with your eyes while they're open. You can kind of like, defocus your eyes and then, focus on one eye and what that looks like, and then focus on the other eye and what that looks like, and then kind of go back to the combined version and see the displacement between the two, right? So so what I did was I was practicing that because I was trying to isolate my eye to then isolate the region of my vision that was getting distorted, because I wanted to look at it again. I'm trying to like, I was trying to see the contours of it, see if I can like, suss out details and to look up in terms of like terms or whatever. And in doing that, I realized there was like the how do I say this? The inner region of the peripheral. Can you call it that? The peripheral vision. No, they don't call that the peripheral vision. It's the peripheral is on the outside, but it's similar in the sense that it's that region in your eye that goes towards your nose bridge, right? And in that way, it's like whether it's like the outside or the inside, it still has that kind of peripheral, distortive, not really in focus kind of look, right? And what I noticed was that when I guess it was a combination of where I was aiming my eyes to, because I was looking through my left eye and I had my right eye closed briefly, and I was looking at the distortion through my left eye, and I kind of was I switched over to looking at the right eye even though it was closed, and then that kind of over that, when your eyes are closed, you see the darkness, whatever, of your eyelids. That darkness was kind of overlapping a little bit onto the image of my left eye that was open. I'm sorry, this is very boring, but I'm trying to explain it because I got a really cool thing to show. And when that happened, it was like the geometries aligned, and then because of that, somehow that region, that center region in my vision, it stopped being scrunched up. It was almost like the space opened up again, if that makes sense. And I'm saying it like that because it's similar to what I've been finding with my studies of proprioception and how that feels on the body. Essentially, God, how do I say this without giving too much away or getting too complex? Essentially, proprioception is, I want to say it's like your body's momentum space mapped out on a hyperbolic plane. So like, affine space, hyperbolic geometry, that kind of stuff. And so with the eyes, it was like that kind of happened too, where it was like there was a bit of an overlap between the peripheral, the inner, whatever that region is, of the right eye onto the left, and somehow the angles aligned, and then like I could see the character properly. Like it just opened up, like I was like, what the fuck? What was that? So I've been like frantically trying to figure out what the heck I did, how it worked, and so on and so forth. How do I say this? All right, fuck it. Here it is. So I started off making like, a drawing, like, okay, the two eyes in the center. Then I started to kind of like chart like a bit of a cartography kind of thing, like map it out with coordinates kind of thing. And then also I have to explain the color. So like what I've been doing, I've been trying to keep it like color coordinated in terms of like the different geometric planes. So like black is like curved geometry. The red lines are the hyperbolic geometry. The blue lines are the Euclidean flat, right? Because like what I'm seeing is that it's like our body is inscribed in like these three different planes at the same time. If like that makes sense. I don't know if it will make sense to you. It makes sense to me, and it's fucking revelatory. But anyways, so while drawing that and like thinking about the, like, essentially like it's a conformal map, right, between like the different curvatures of the planes. Basically, it's like, okay, how do I say this? Like, God damn it, this is that thing. How's it go? I know what time is, but when you ask me what time is, I do not know. That's what's happening right now. Fuck. It's similar to like when you have those like the projective geometry, but like with like paper shapes or whatever, and so you draw it out, and then you take the shape and you fold it together, and then from that 2D projection you make a 3D paper shape, right? It's kind of similar to that, where when I was trying to draw, okay, how is this gonna work, it just kind of like, let me put it this way. It's like this. So with the hyperbolic geometry, it's like you get that like crinking up when it's like on like a, how do I say this? I saw a video that explained it well. They were talking about like corals expressing hyperbolic geometry. Also brains, they express that too. And because it's like there's more, you can pack more, more space in the same area kind of thing. it kind of, when you bring it to like, Euclidean plane, that kind of extra space just pops out, so it kind of crinkles up. And that's kind of like what happened here, where it was like, okay, well, okay, how do I make this work? How do I make this work? You have half the image on this side, and through somehow they merged together to make a cohesive image. How? I kind of did something like this, where it's like the red lines, that's like, the hyperbolic, crinks up. And because of that, the shape becomes cohesive. And I got to that conclusion because I was reproducing what I did to get that, to affect that blind spot in the center of my vision. And so what I'm realizing now, it's like, it's almost like a fibromyalgia of the eye. Like fibromyalgia, you feel like your body's being pushed to certain areas or certain directions that seem weird. Like for me, I'll get like my upper torso will feel like it wants to go up and over, like okay, this is my body. It wants to go like that for some reason. That's what it feels like. Just the upper right region, right? It's weird. But something like that was happening there with my eyesight too, is what I'm saying. Whereby, because I was not orienting my eyes in the right way and I wasn't perceiving the geometry the right way, my interpretation of what I was looking at was collapsing in on itself. And so, like, I don't know, I just think this is so fucking cool. Because especially with the hyperbolic geometry, because it can, like, fold like that, it's like then you can kind of see how, like, okay, if it's more to one eye, the shape's still kind of preserved kind of thing. No, I didn't do the same transformation on, like, this side. Although, yeah, you still kind of see it's intact. The hyperbolic lines kind of still carry the continuity of the gestalt, the image. And so it's like, I'm not really good at this. But my point is like, yes, this is stuff that you can look up on Wikipedia, but there's a difference between reading about it abstractly versus being able to pinpoint the exact coordinates within your fucking mind to tap exactly into that faculty, which is what I was trying to put down, like a path of how I got there kind of thing. And so it was very shocking and surprising, but nonetheless very rewarding. Because like I said, it's like the distortion, it didn't clear up. It was more like when I was perceiving it properly, when I was perceiving the angles properly and had my eyes oriented towards each other properly, then the distortion opened up to like the regular view, right? But it's like the kind of thing where it's like I have to, like, when I focus in on, small objects to look at the center of my vision, I have to make sure I do that kind of thing. It's no different than like, corrective posture, with like, well, that's another thing. I'm also addressing my fibromyalgia with corrective posturing, among other things, but like also charting out my body's geometry that way to see like, okay, why is my body trying to fling itself to the side, but only my upper right body? And then, charting out what's happening. And then that kind of opened up to like being able to access like a significant degree of my fascia. It's weird. I don't yet have all the words to explain it in a succinct way that's not like, chaotic like this, but that's what I did. I'm figuring out how to fix my eyesight. It's pretty fucking cool.